Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be discussing with you guys a topic that I thought was actually very interesting. Now, I already saw Clownfish's video about this very topic, which by the way, I highly recommend you do, and if you have a chance, subscribe to their channel. Those are two people who really know what they're doing, okay? Now, what exactly is going on with this? Well, as you can see from the title, this is coming to us from Cartoon Brew, a website that talks mostly about animation. So if you are a fan of animation like I am, you can go check out their channel. They basically do news covering stuff that happens in the animation industry, and not just with animation, not just with the shows itself or movies. They actually talk about some of the stuff that goes on behind the scenes, or news about stuff that happens behind the scenes. And this is one of them. Now, in case you don't know, you can see by the title right here. A former Disney storyboard artist explains why she quit the industry in disgust. Now, this is her right here, and she even has her own YouTube channel, which you can go check out. It's right here. It's called Honey and Absinthe. You can go subscribe to it right now. And this is the video that she posted where she basically talked about why she quit her job at Disney. Now, if you've been keeping up with, if you're like me and you've been keeping up with videos that in YouTube that talk about some of the stuff that goes on behind the scenes, then you'll know that this is actually not new. And Janet Chen isn't the only one who's come out and talked about how Disney basically isn't the company that she thought it would be. Now, let me explain something. I know that it's usually normal for people to have expectations about what it might be like to work for a certain company that they admire, but then they actually go there and it turns out that it's not what they expected. I get that. It's true. In fact, she even states this. And anyway, let's actually get into the article so you can get a bit more context as to what's actually happening. So this is coming to us from her. Until a few weeks ago, Janet Chen was doing what was once her dream job. What had once been her dream job. Having entered the Hollywood animation world 4 years ago with big dreams of creative fulfillment, she worked her way up to become a Disney television animation storyboard revisionist. Along the way, her hopes turned to disillusionment with the nature of the industry. Now, again, if you've been keeping up with this like I have, then you'll know that this isn't new. This isn't new. In fact, I kind of expected it. It's just that more people who are actually working behind the scenes are actually coming out and saying this. When she was offered a promotion, she quit her career instead. She explains why in a 10-minute YouTube video, which is this right here, and this is her channel right here. It's called Honey and Absinthe. You can go check it out. You can even subscribe to it if you want to. Chan paints a picture of an industry run by clueless executives who fail to reward real talent. Her grievances boil down to a number of points. Now, let me be clear about something. She specifically says who fail to reward real talent. Now, she's not saying specifically they're not rewarding her talent, so she's not being selfish right here. I probably wouldn't even be making this video. I probably wouldn't even be giving it the time of day if this was just someone who's disgruntled that they're not being given the time of day because they believe they deserve it. Like that kind of self-entitlement. No. Anyway, again, she gets into it. Well, again, I highly recommend you actually go watch the video. But here are basically some of the points that she made in the video. The executives have poor creative judgment. And this is the part that really surprised me. I was on a preschool show where we were given this note. We are no longer allowed to draw angry eyebrows. The executive said, it's because we don't want to teach children being angry is okay. Aren't preschool shows supposed to be teaching children how the real world works? And that is true. The earlier you teach kids how it's actually like in the real world, the less it's going to be, the less it'll impact them when they actually get into the real world. They don't give them delusions of grandeur. And for some reason, I don't know why, this is the part that I'm confused. So it's because we don't want to teach children being angry is okay. Why wouldn't you want to teach them that? I mean, are you trying to teach them that instead you're just supposed to bottle your emotions? That's not good. That's not healthy. It's not a good thing to bottle your emotions. And again, take it from someone who has a little bit of experience with that. Networking is king. It's not about how good you are. It's about who you know. Now, this part specifically, I already knew about this for a while. Other people who know about the animation industry, they've pointed this out multiple times. Yeah, so this isn't this part isn't really that surprising to me. But again, just because it's not surprising doesn't mean it's right. Again, just giving a job to someone just because you know about them isn't right. Like, they're supposed to still be qualified for that job. Just because you know them doesn't make and I'm not saying like you know them as in you know their talents. No, this is talking about like, oh, this is just somebody who you know on a personal level. So you know what, here you go, you've got the job. No, I'm sorry, that's not right. Okay, just because you know them personally doesn't mean they deserve the job. Okay, it's about merits. It's about whether or not they actually deserve that job. In order to keep climbing that corporate ladder, it's more beneficial for you to form alliances or cliques rather than to be good at your job. Professionalism is sidelined. Unqualified people fail upwards while many talented people are passed up for promotion and ignored. Sometimes, this can throw entire productions into chaos because of one person's incompetence and ego. So if you've ever wondered why a lot of shows tend to have production problems, there you go. And again, I'm not saying this is the main reason. I'm saying this is probably one of many variables that go into this problem. Toxic behavior is rife. Oftentimes, people are only kind to you if you're of value to them. So if you're on the lower rung of the totem pole, you're treated like dirt. Imagine going to work at a place filled with people you respect and admire, and no one makes eye contact with you. Now, this to me, again, I'm not saying that this is specifically in the animation industry. I think a lot of people are probably watching this video who have worked in any industry will know that this is probably the same thing that happens in almost every industry. And again, just because it's what happens doesn't make it right. The working environment is dull and bureaucratic. At the end of the day, it is a Monday 9 to 5 office job where I sit in my cubicle all day at my computer, or I have meetings about having meetings. I mean, this part specifically, meetings about having meetings. It's like, hey, you know what, everyone, let's get together and we'll discuss about what we're gonna do the next time we get together. And it's just it's so dumb. What do you mean meetings about having meetings? It's just one meeting is enough. And maybe if you need to call an emergency meeting, okay, I get that, but usually one meeting is enough. You get together, you discuss what needs to be done, and then there you go. Everyone go do your jobs. That's it. That's all you need to do. I don't get why you'd have meetings about the next time you're having meetings. I mean, oh my God, that's so. I know this may sound dumb, but again, considering I don't have a problem believing this. Excuse me. The industry isn't honest about all this. Excuse me. There is absolutely nothing wrong with having a corporate job. It is true. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. If that is what you want, or if you go in knowing that, but you still want to take the job, again, look, more power to you. It's just I wish my school, the recruiters, the studio itself, told me what I was walking into. That is, now I've heard this true. A lot of schools, specifically art schools, that a lot of that people go to because they want to work in animation, they don't tell them what the animation industry is actually like. Like someone could go to art school. They're willing to shell out thousands of dollars to go to art school, because they want to get into the animation industry. Like, that's their dream job. But the problem is they go in expecting something completely different, and then they're completely shocked when it turns out to not be what they expected. That's why, like, schools should be telling them, like, look, this is what you should be expecting from somebody who worked in the industry that you're trying to get into. This is what you should expect when you walk in. Instead, they take their money, they teach them what they know, and then they say, all right, go ahead, go do yourself, go do what you want to do. It took Chan 4 years to realize that animation is not for me. She now runs her own design and illustration business, which gives her the sense of autonomy she couldn't find in Hollywood. She admits that she felt guilty about resenting her career, as she's well aware that many people would love to be in her place. This video then is her warning to those people. Her comments are actually not uncommon. They echo complaints that many people working in the animation industry often make, just privately. That is true, because look, in this industry, if you go out on, say, let's say Twitter or Instagram or even on YouTube, and you make a video where you talk about, first of all, you make your identity known, and you talk about how this is the place that I'm working at is absolutely horrible. You start talking about all the problems. And some of the people that you're working for would look at that, and they'll say, well, we can't have this person working here, even though yes, they are pointing out a lot of valid criticisms of the way we run business, or the way we run our business. We still don't want them to do this. Now, this is why a lot of people that's why a lot of people usually they air their grievances privately, maybe to a lot of people that they know, because they know that they won't like go out and blab to people. But some industry players disagree. In recent days, social media has seen lively debate about employment standards in the industry, some of which appear to be responding to Chan's video. See below for examples. What do you think? Does Chan have a point? And this is from Jesse Velociraptor Juono. I do not know this person. Who knows? Maybe she worked on a show that I know. I don't know who. I never really bothered to look at the people who actually worked on that show, which kind of sucks, if I'm being honest. A note to animation students. Sometimes you're going to see animation professionals tweet, post, vlog angrily about the industry. Yes, it is a tough industry with many ups and downs, but please remember that there are a lot of ways to experience this industry. And I think this is just one out of... we don't have the rest of the tweet for some reason. I don't know why they left out the other tweet. I mean, this is clearly like one... Like there's clearly more to this, but for some reason they didn't include it. So this is from Betsy Bowers. Just want to piggyback on Jesse's subtweet about what is likely the same video. Yes, animation is a desk job. Yes, there is a corporate nature and politics to the business. Yes, it is networking centric, but let's be honest, most industries share these tropes. Now, again, I just want to emphasize this. Yes, this is like they're even saying like, look, we're not even denying what she's saying. Like, yes, we're even admitting to it. Yes, it is a desk job. Yes, it is. There is corporate nature and politics to the behind the scenes workings of these shows, of these studios that produce these shows that we all love. The thing that I think, the thing that I believe that Janet is trying to say is that, look, at the end of the day, like, she's just trying to let people know, look, this is what you're walking into. I don't think she's trying to discourage anyone from, actually getting into the animation industry. I don't think that she's trying to discourage anyone from working at Disney or maybe even Cartoon, or I'm guessing maybe Cartoon Network. But I think she's trying to say, look, at the same time, just know what you're walking into. Like, don't walk in with all of these expectations, where let's say you want to get into this business and your dream is to, maybe be a showrunner or a film director. Like even Janet said in her video, like one of her dreams is to be a showrunner or a film director. The problem is that, like she said right here in her notes, or excuse me, the notes of her video, like it's not about how good you are, it's about who you know. See, she even said that it's not about how good you are, it's about who you know. And they say that, like, and that's, I think, the problem with the animation industry. Like, people are rewarded just because they know the right people. It's not because of their talent, which to me, I do not agree with this. I do not agree with giving someone a job just because they happen to know someone. People should get a job because they are the right person qualified for that job. That's it. And it's just, it sucks that it is like this. And again, what they're saying here, like they're even admitting to it, yes, it is a desk job. Yes, there is a corporate nature and politics to the business. Yes, it is networking centric. And again, just because this is the trope doesn't make it right. Like, just because other industries do this doesn't mean you should. I mean, that would be like saying, hey, look, I mean, all your friends get together on Thursday and start punching each other in the face. Doesn't matter to make it right. And just because they do it and now you have to join in. No, it's just no. Just because this is something that other people do. And look, if you're okay with doing this, and if you go into these industries knowing this, but you still want to go work for them, again, hey, more power to you. But just because you do this doesn't mean I have to, or doesn't mean I want to. Again, I think that's what she's trying to say, or at least, again, she's just trying to let people know what it's like, so that people don't walk into this business with the high expectations, and it's just she's just trying to warn them. Anyway, the other article that I wanted to talk about is, and this is sort of a response to her video, and this is from another person who works in the animation industry. He basically made a response to Janet's video, and he says, and he posted a YouTube video where he says, "Why I didn't quit the industry." An animator response to Cartoon Brew's story about an unhappy industry artist. A few weeks, and it says right here, a few weeks ago, Janet Chen quit her job as a storyboard revisionist at Disney Television Animation and left the animation industry for good. As she explained in the YouTube video, she was sick of what she described as a toxic, and then he go, yeah, all of that. And here's his video, and this is his channel. Again, you can go check it out, and you can even go subscribe to him. And I think he, I don't know much about his channel, but I think he talks about animation. I think he even does tutorials about animation. Again, you can go check it out if you want. Chan's video, more specifically our article, has provoked a response from Jean-Denis Haas. Good God, I hope I pronounced that right. An animation supervisor at Industrial Light and Magic and 16-year veteran of the industry. In a video of his own, Haas agrees with Chen in many respects, but says that it's important to add context and nuance to her points. You can watch the video right here. Again, you can go watch it for yourself. I won't play this here because I don't know. I don't want to risk it. By and large, Haas has loved his career to date. He places himself at one end of a spectrum and Chen at the other, arguing that most people entering the industry will end up somewhere in between. He recognizes the validity of Chan's complaints, but adds that they don't represent everyone's experience. Below, we've recapped Chan's key points in bold and summarized Haas's response to each one. I'm guessing this is one of his works. The executives have poor creative judgment. Haas says that executives come in all stripes. Some have excellent judgment, some don't. Who you end up with is a bit of a crapshoot, and that's according to him. I'm quoting him. They may perceive things that artists don't, so it's important not to judge their notes too quickly. Sometimes you think, this is not right, but when you watch the movie, you think, oh yeah, this makes more sense. Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, look, a lot of these executives, like, business is their talent. That is true. They know business. But at the same time, you're the creatives, you're the storytellers, you're the artists. At the same time, the executives still have to trust the people that they hire to do their jobs, because if you believe they could do this job, why would you not trust them? Like, why would you? I don't know. It's just I still don't like it. I mean, again, I'm not saying that that's the same for every single executive. I'm just saying most executives, and we've seen examples of this. How many movies have been ruined because of studio meddling? How many movies, or not even just movies, how many TV shows got probably canceled because studios kept interfering with the production of the show? Like, it's just, a lot of shows end up getting canceled because, you know, they're not getting the proper ratings. But that's mostly because the studios kept interfering and they kept moving the time slot of the show. So people didn't know when the show was coming on, so they couldn't watch it. And again, this is all because the studio interferes. That's why I think, look, in most cases, like 99% of the time, studios should not interfere with the creative process. I'm sorry, but they just shouldn't. Okay? They're the creatives. You're the studio heads. You run the business because that is what you're good at. The creatives create. That is what they're good at. Let them do what they're good at, and you do what you're good at. You would never expect someone from the creative to go in there and tell you how to do your job. Yes, they will. Like, they'll catch you up on what's going on, and they'll tell you, like, okay, concerning what's going on, maybe this is the direction that we should be going. Again, from my perspective, and since you hired them, since you know they're good, then maybe you should trust them to know what they're doing. But instead, they don't. They think they know what's best. And look, in a lot of times, no, they don't. I'm sorry, but they just don't. Networking is king. And he says this is only true to an extent. Talent is important too. You can't be horrible at your job and just rely on networking. That being said, is it going to be helpful to know certain people? Yes, especially as a student. Haas encourages his students to network at events and on social media. Professionalism is sidelined. Haas agrees with this. Haas agrees with this, but adds that the same goes for every industry. Incompetence is a fact of life. You're going to deal with people and egos and favors. Is it good? No. But this is something you just have to be ready for. And again, look, I think this is exactly what she's been saying. Well, she's been saying that, look, if you're going to go into this industry, at least know what you're getting into. Like, she's just trying to get them ready for it. But at the same time, she's also pointing out that, or at least, again, this is just my interpretation. She's trying to point out that, just because this is something that's always done, again, doesn't make it right. You don't. Anyway, I'm not going to get back into this. I already talked about this ad nauseum. Toxic behavior is rife. While Haas hasn't experienced this himself, he fully acknowledges that others do. He says that the degree of toxicity varies between companies, which makes it all the more important to do research and to research an employer before agreeing to work for them. And don't go on Glassdoor.com and just read negative comments, because whenever someone gets laid off, there's going to be a certain slant to their comments. Then again, I don't think it's right to tell them don't go on Glassdoor and just read negative comments. I think it's important to read the negative comments. It's important to get both sides. Okay, it's you read the positives and the negatives, because again, when it comes to criticism, especially of a company, it's important to get both sides. It's not good to just read the positives. The working environment is dull and bureaucratic. Again, this isn't true of Haas's career. I work on movies that have been part of my childhood, and it's fantastic. That being said, 9-to-5 office job? Yes, it's actually 9 to 6, 9 to 7. He points out that having an office space can be useful, as working from home can upset the work-life balance and meetings. About having meetings. However, boring are a convenient way to meet other people. I guess that is kind of true. The industry isn't honest about all this. On this point only, Haas wholeheartedly agrees with Chad. In his view, schools do little to prepare students for the reality of animation work. He points his own students to articles on Cartoon Brew about exploitative practices in the industry and encourages them to do research of their own. This is an industry that is looking for a ton of profit. That, coupled with creative people and ambitious people and egos, is a recipe for all kinds of dirty behavior. Do you agree with Haas, Chan? Neither. Let us know in the comment below. And again, look, when it comes to all of this, I think they both raised some valid points. And again, I don't think any person is either right or wrong here. I think they both are just talking about their experiences in the animation industry, and I think that's the main reason why I even made this video, is because, look, I know I don't have that big of a following. I know. Although, from guessing from the analytics, most of my audience is actually from the United States, so I guess, these companies are based in the United States, so I guess this is a good thing that however many people watch my videos, however big my audience is, I'm hoping that making this video will at least give you some knowledge as to what's going on in the animation industry. If you're someone watching this who wants to get into the animation industry, I'm hoping that this video will at least incline you to, at the very least, do your research before choosing to go in there. Or, before deciding to commit to working at, let's say, Disney or Cartoon Network or anywhere else, or any other animation studio. Just walk in there knowing what you're about to get. Don't go in there with these delusions of thinking this is going to be a fantastic working space where I can express my creativity. No, at the end of the day, Disney has become, it focuses more on being a corporate business instead of a place that nurtures true creativity, which is a shame, because from what I've heard, a lot of people have said that that Disney didn't used to be like this. Right now, Disney's more focusing on being corporate rather than promoting creativity, and it's just it's sad, because this is the same company that was responsible for some of my favorite works of animation ever, and unfortunately, this is just the reality of what it is. And again, like I said, if you do not have a problem with any of this, and if you still want to get into the animation industry, then you know what? More power to you. You do you. With that being said, I'm going to end this right here. I'm hoping, This already went on for a lot longer than I expected it to. If you're still watching up until this point, thank you so much. I really appreciated it. Watch time is incredibly important for YouTube these days. I don't know why, but that's just the way it is. And if you like my content and if you want to see more from me, please consider hitting that subscribe button and clicking on the bell icon to let you know every single time I post a new video. And if you can, please hit that like button. It's really going to help support this channel, and share this video if you could. And if you really like my content and if you really want to support me, or if you want to go the extra mile when it comes to supporting me, there is a link available in the description box down below. Click on it. It'll let you know how another way for you to support me. And again, that is completely optional. If you do not want to do that, that is absolutely a-okay. Just subscribing, liking, and sharing is more than enough. Thank you so much for watching. Again, you guys are awesome, and I hope you join me on my next one. Bye.